sure we're beautiful. So the next performer, I'm so excited because I do a thing that no one should ever do when they plan shows, which is like I envision the show and then I'm like, I need everyone that I have in my head to say yes. That is the really bad way to go about it. And thinking about things thematically, it makes it hard because it's like, okay, who would be a really good artist to kind of speak to this theme versus like how I'm trying to fit people into certain spots. And so this person, I've been wanting to do Women 317 for like literally 2 years, and I'm like, it just hasn't been the right show yet. And then I'm like, this one's the right one. And it's not because I'm reducing her down to one role of her life, because that's not it. But she's an amazing human and has a lot of, oh, hey, hi. Someone's really excited to see someone else here. I don't know if it's me, I can't tell. I don't know if it's else is. Hey, you seem really excited. Hi. Come on in. So this next performer has such a way with words, and the way that she puts them together and says them out loud literally like just moves me. So I'm really glad that she's here in this space and is someone that mothers a lot of different spaces as well. Please give it up for Bree.
Thanks for inviting me out. And hi, everybody. Hey. Let me pull up my Google Doc. Here it is. So I'm a pretty new mom. My little boy's name is River, and he's like 4 months. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to read some sort of poems and some prose pieces. I'll probably just kind of like run through it all, so it'll just kind of have one flow, even though it's kind of like individual things. So, yeah. Sunday morning. Are the birds actually chirping, or does this just feel like a beginning? Yes, there they are in the front yard's tree, but I feel less connection to the metaphor that I started with. Wanting can feel so simple and healthy. I could drive to the store right now and feel catharsis when I buy the journal I wanted the other day, but I can't reasonably go to the beach. I visualize the top of my head, the slope of my shoulders, as I search familiar spaces for the girl who had the power to yearn, to journey, to fulfill, to reinvent. But I just end up with untouched piles for the mice to nest in. I go to my bookshelf and tell myself to sit with something you own. But I'm hungry, and this reminder of my multiplicities makes me feel more exhausted. I daydream of the shadows of leaves crossing my freshly manicured toes. I reach out. I wonder if it's cool enough in the shade. I can feel time expanding and contracting all around me. I sit on the couch and watch Love and Hip Hop. Then I put about 5 poetry books on the end table with the intention to read them by lamplight. I read a poem by a writer who has the strange ability to make me feel distant and sober, one of my favorite feelings. I feel a great loneliness looming like a front, traveling over a great distance to reach me. It is not malignant, and I want to feel ready. Today I will fix the sleeve in a dress, wash the dishes left over from Sunday brunch, and walk around the international grocery store for light exercise. I'll buy some red bean mochi from there, maybe some interesting salad dressing. Reality presents itself in extremes these days. It's either choppy and garish with jabs to the lungs, or it seems impossibly simple, like the outline of a tree on a slowly shifting sky. I want my insides to be less complicated, so more blood flows to my eyes. I want to be less antsy so I can successfully meditate in front of the video installation at the art museum that looks like a moving painting of outer space. Unwritten short stories. I never knew that I knew how to appreciate a stove because it's easy to clean. I've heard of compulsive cleaning and sad cleaning. Both seem legit, but not for me at the time. The burners clatter as I pick them up to wipe underneath. My husband hears my racket and comes to see if I'm okay. I apologize profusely because my cleaning is not virtuous. It's a nervous outburst that has distracted him from his anime. I'm not used to being witnessed, but it seems legit. Initially, I just went to the kitchen to make a cup of tea, but there were crumbs on the stove, and I'm afraid of the bugs that I assume the neighbors attracted. Then I had to sweep. I think my mom would be proud of how neat my kitchen is. Millennial mom. My baby is really small. He's sitting in his car seat. When I go to pick him up from his grandparents, I drive up and down hills and across a reservoir. His grandfather is holding him when he opens the door. There's a golf course across from their house. My husband used to walk his dog there and smoke cigarettes. I really enjoy looking out at the expanse of tan and gray in the rain yesterday while my baby's grandfather put the car seat in my car. Before I had to learn the directions to this house, I reached it through twisting night paths lined with relief trees, or while my head was in the clouds, it appeared beneath my feet. Me and my baby go to the food co-op. I wanted to go somewhere different instead of the coffee shop. I order a small green juice and a medium coffee. I see two young girls that I know and their mom. These girls like photos of my baby on Instagram, and I like photos of their drawings. I idealize the idyllic world that they create, but trust and believe, I'm developing my own unique presence. Every photo of my baby that I post has its own epistemological imprint. I call my recent spending habits an effort to ground. I buy nail polish, oils, and other cosmetics from the food co-op. I buy crystals and flower essences from the New Age store and cassette tapes from the record store. I've convinced myself that if I take better care of my own body and spirit, I'll take better care of the baby. When we go home after I'm finished with my juice, the baby and I play magic. I lay him on his blanket and wedge a small quartz crystal into his little fist. He waves it around until it slips from his hand. I put on a tape and give him a tour of our apartment, gently tapping on various objects and explaining their use. When he falls asleep, I meditate for exactly 15 minutes using the timer on my iPhone. I hold a piece of raw kunzite, which is supposed to open up a channel between the heart and the mind. When I'm done meditating, I sway to Stevie Nicks' Stand Back with the pitch control knob turned to its slowest and sip shitty Moscato from a small plastic bottle. Love Revisited. I stole a glance at the sliver of skin peeking out from under your shirt. Your head was near my knee, but not yet in my lap. Living things go in a vase. Dead things go in an urn. I move my valuables around the living room, but I leave the furniture alone. I wonder what we can share when I get home from work. This is the last little piece. It's called Baby in Nature. Drove up to Eagle's Crest to check out a weird bear sculpture. Decided to sit in my car to read poems and listen to music. I think I scared away the stoners. Small baby sits in his car seat, dozing and looking out the back window at the trees against the pale sky. Feels peaceful, doesn't cry, seriously enjoys high contrast visuals. Casually wrapped, sits quietly until he falls asleep. Thank you.
So the next performer is. I have a lot of words. I should just choose a few. on accident, and I appreciate how it feels like I've known her for longer. You ever meet people like that where it's just like, oh damn, that's cool. That's really cool. I appreciate how she mothers herself and mothers the world around her, and I appreciate that she can put it into music. So if you've ever heard of the Yellow Kites, this is a focus on the woman half of the duo. So give it up for Erina.
Thank you very much for having me here. I've been meaning to come for a long time, but like Elle said, we have a toddler who is going on like 18 or something. She's full on. But I was telling her actually today has been a really hard mothering day for me. I feel like I failed in every possible way. I lost my temper. I'm like going, get out, like just awful, you know. Nothing like Pinterest or Instagram. So yeah. But we'd love to share some of our songs with you and maybe share a bit about them. This is Kendall. My husband. And he's supporting me because one of my instruments is in the shop right now, so yeah. Anyway, let's go. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Might sing these songs that eases pain when broken bones bring wholeness again. Catch my babies when they're born and hum along to my good song. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Know there's a light that welcomes souls of wildflowers root the sky and soil. And there will dance the sun's first beam on good roads by the shielding tree. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And walk your dreams to forget not. This breath is short and quick to stop. Beyond my years of passing ground, fairways, black days, no peace abound. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So our daughter is called Juniper, and I said she's going on 3. Before Juniper though, we had I got pregnant. It was a surprise pregnancy, and we had about 12 days of sort of being like, oh my gosh, our lives have been changed. We weren't planning on changing it yet, and then getting the news where we heard there was no heartbeat. And it's weird because it's like 12 days of knowing that you're pregnant, and then it's just like gone. But the grief was like unbelievable. And then that same, like within the same amount of days, one of our best friends killed himself. And he had a son that was on its way. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe the 2 of them have met up and they're sort of journeying on together. And that wasn't my comfort. But this next song, we don't really sing it much at all because it's sad. But I think in mothering comes with that when you love that much whoever it is in your life that you are mother to. It can really go deep. So we will try. We will try.